Think of a dish that's crispy yet tender, spicy yet soothing, complex yet straightforward. Meet the Taiwanese pepper bun. This treasure brings the richness of flaky dough and the juiciness of a hefty pork filling tied together with an undeniable peppery punch. If you love Bao Buns, you're absolutely gonna love this one. But if you think I'm just sharing a recipe I pulled from the internet, oh no. This journey begins on my trip to Taiwan earlier this year. Have you ever felt like food is a religion? Well, in Taiwan, it's more than just a saying. Imagine streets bustling with food stalls, the aroma of different dishes and colors everywhere. We're talking about Taiwan's famous night markets. I remember watching the late Anthony Bourdain, yes, the legend himself, wander through these very streets about a decade ago. I was blown away by the culinary diversity he showcased. But there was this one dish. Bourdain was standing right here amidst the chaos, highlighting a particular treat. You guessed it, the Taiwanese pepper bun. Fresh balls of dough, mountains of seasoned meat, and bowls over bowls of chopped scallions. Very interestingly, these originally Fujian Chinese buns are being cooked in these cylindrical clay ovens, undeniably linked to the Silk Road and tandoor ovens through long-lost history. But flash forward to my own trip to Taiwan. I tried this pepper cake, excitedly recalling Bourdain's journey, but I was a little let down, to be honest. Yeah, the dough was crispy and the meat was juicy, but something was lacking. I kept thinking about the incredible dishes throughout the night market and just couldn't shake off the feeling that the pepper buns left something to be desired. Yet, Taiwan had a twist in store for me. 2 days later, I was walking to another food hotspot, and what do I see? A line of people eagerly waiting for, you guessed it, those same pepper buns. It's like the universe was begging me to give the pepper buns a second chance. This time, the pastry was ultra flaky, layered like laminated dough, and the meat filling had this indescribable peppery punch. The Taiwanese pepper bun in all its glory. And it was at that moment that two things became crystal clear to me. One, Taiwan's night markets are super fun and inspiring, but they're not necessarily your go-to address for top-tier food. And two, I just had to bring this pepper cake recipe to life for you guys here on the channel. This recipe calls for not one, but two doughs. Well, let me explain. First, we make a lean yeasted dough. Simple enough. In a bowl, we combine flour, a little yeast, some sugar to aid with browning and flavor, of course some salt, and give it all a good whisk before adding water. Give everything a good knead for 5 to 10 minutes, then cover and rest this baby for around 1 hour or until doubled in size. But this is just the beginning. Where most would stop, we are gonna make a second dough. What? You'll see. So for the second butter dough, we combine regular flour, but instead of liquid, we are adding softened butter, a pinch of salt, and a bit of ground sichuan pepper to lend it a truly unique aroma. Bring everything together until we get one cohesive mass. Then divide and conquer into 8 equal little balls, roughly 15 grams each. But now for the filling. We begin with minced pork, which we have all intentions of seasoning the shit out of. First, add a liberal amount of black pepper. After all, it's named pepper bun for a reason. But the pepper doesn't stop here. Incorporate some Sichuan pepper and white pepper as well. For depth of flavor, introduce a hint of 5 spice. Next, incorporate light and dark soy sauce, cooking wine, and sesame oil. Then, for an unconventional twist, mix in breadcrumbs. While not a traditional choice, it aids in absorbing the meat juices, ensuring they remain inside the bun. Season further with sugar, salt, a touch of MSG, and don't overlook minced ginger, which counters the richness beautifully. Blend everything together to achieve a richly seasoned meat paste, which actually just serves as a flavorful binder. Because our main meat will in fact be whole pork. Opt for pork neck steaks, which taste great and have an ideal balance of fat and lean. You can semi-freeze them for about an hour so they get a little firmer, and then you can cube and integrate with the seasoned mixture. Now divide this mixture into 8 equal portions. These will form the heart of your pepper buns. Just check out this delightful combination of the soft mince contrasted by hearty chunks of meat. You can just store them in the fridge for now to maintain their firmness. Meanwhile, remember that apart from the meat, scallions are essential. Interestingly, they are used separately rather than being mixed into the filling. Prepare a bowl of scallions and set aside. Now, once the yeasted dough has doubled in size and doesn't spring back when gently pressed, it's time to shape the buns. Start by dividing the dough into 8 equal portions. Then shape each portion into a taut ball. Wondering how to create the layered effect reminiscent of Taiwanese delicious pepper buns? Well, here is how. Begin by lightly dusting your work surface or lightly flouring the dough ball. Roll out one of our yeasted dough balls, then flatten a butter dough ball into a thin disc using just your palm. Lift that with a dough scraper and place it at the center of the rolled out yeasted dough. Then pull the edges of the yeasted dough towards the center to envelop the buttery disc. Flatten this combined dough gently, then roll into a long oval. You want to roll this oval into a cylindrical shape, resembling a thick fruit roll-up of sorts. Then finally press this cylinder into a flat disc. If any end is sticking out, simply tuck it beneath. This smart technique creates a handmade laminated dough, a lot simpler than making a croissant. With all 8 dough balls prepared, proceed to wrap the filling. If you want some extra ease, you can store your filling in the freezer for 30 minutes to firm up. You want to take one of our double dough balls and roll that out until it's roughly palm-sized. Ensure the edges are thinner than the center, akin to shaping Chinese dumplings. This dough is actually quite forgiving. With the firm filling, you can just place it in the center and wrap it like a bao bun. As long as the bun is sealed well at the bottom, minor imperfections are definitely okay, since we will be baking these guys smooth side up. Now, admittedly, there is one thing I sort of screwed up on. Remember the scallions we sliced before, aka the one non-meat thing that is inside this bun? Well, in all of my excitement, I actually forgot to add those in. And of course, I only noticed when I was done wrapping them all. You'd normally just add a spoonful on top of your filling before sealing. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, of course, the bun still tasted great, but a little bit of scallions wouldn't have hurt. Are you ready for the finishing touches? In one bowl, first dilute some honey with water so it's runny. In another, mix black and white sesame seeds. You want to first brush the buns with your honey solution so they're sticky, and then dip them upside down into the sesame mixture. Spread these out on a baking paper lined tray and bake those babies at 180 Celsius, that's roughly 350 Fahrenheit, for about 20 to 25 minutes. But in the meantime, let's work on a quick and delicious sauce. For that, you want to combine ketchup, a bit of soy sauce, sambal or your preferred hot sauce, a good squeeze of honey, a dash of sesame oil, and 1 minced garlic clove. Just mix those together well and you have a tantalizing sauce that pairs wonderfully with pork. You can't tell me this wasn't easy. Almost 25 minutes have passed, which means our buns should be nice and GBD by now. I'm still amazed by the integrity of this type of dough because it really ensures the filling's juices remain intact. And come on, just look at this. Damn, a juicy filling encased in a layered, flaky wrap. This texture, combined with its rich buttery flavor, is truly irresistible. For an even more unforgettable experience, just dip the buns into the quick sauce. Should you have leftovers, store them in the fridge for a few days and reheat gently in the oven to restore their crispy texture. After last week's bubble tea recipe and this week's pepper bun recipe, I have one more Taiwanese recipe to share with you guys that's coming next week, and that is the legendary Taiwan shrimp roll. Stay tuned for that. I hope you're subscribed so you don't miss out. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.